I want to welcome you to episode one of the Legacy podcast and videos that I've been sharing videos and I've been working with my employees, working with followers, working with those that just want to talk and conversate and discuss what's going on in our jobs and in the fire service in general. And it can be politics, it can be health and wellness, it can be training. Training is near and dear to my heart, as most of you know. But one of the things I want to talk about today is the health and wellness. We've really talked about it a lot for years now. We've been talking about the cancer, we've been talking about heart disease, its impact on the fire service, how much higher at risk we are, the causes of death among firefighters and the higher percentage. And now we're learning about all this research into some of the things that we're supposed to be protecting us that are causing those cancers and those problems. We know that our lifestyles, the lack of sleep, the interrupted sleep, causes some of our stress, some of the heart problems we know now. We know that there's a whole generation of folks like my friend Jason Corthell out there working on the health and wellness, working on making us more resilient and holding our leaders accountable to protect this generation and the generations to come when it comes to those things. One of the things I want to talk about is there's now a new trend of journals, of articles, of research, a body of research coming along, really talking about firefighters and the syndromes they face, the problems, the chronic issues that arise. And I fell to one of those, ignoring the little tinkle and the tingling and the numbness in my hands and my arms. And I ignored it for years and years and years before allowing a little, steroid shot here, an epidural there, PT here, PT there. And what it all come down to is I was just putting off the inevitable, which I thought would be career-ending surgery. It wasn't. Is it limiting surgery? Yes, but I let it go so long that it had to be a much more catastrophic situation that could have really put me out of action and crippled me. There's already going to be some lasting, lingering problems, some numbness, some lack of strength in one side. But I had to have cervical fusion and laminectomy from chronic degeneration of my disc. And had I just taken care of it sooner, had I paid a lot more attention to it, I could have done things in my career to slow it and to even inhibit the failures. But I was reading recently an article from University of Hawaii they were doing, and they started looking into what they're calling firefighter syndrome. Basically, what they're talking about is the body of research out there. If you look at the body of research on problems for veterans, medical problems, mental health problems, wellness problems, it says there's over 15,000 scholarly journal articles out there. But if you look at firefighters, there's not even 500. And it's such a large at-risk population that we have to pay more attention to it. So some of the framework of what they were really looking at and the questionnaires that they used in their research, they came up with lots and lots of stuff: sleep disturbance, hormonal imbalances, traumatic brain injuries, chronic orthopedic problems, headaches, substance abuse, PTSD we know about. But the other things that go with the PTSD, the depression, the anger, the anxiety, marital problems, restlessness, panic attacks, memory, cognitive problems, perpetual system impairments, chronic dehydration, and transition problems from work to home, back to work. Uh, the the research really brings a bigger light that we need to talk about. And it's like I just talked about with my cervical injury. You have to pay attention to these things. You have to spend time talking about it. So what I want to do with this video is I want to set up a longer video and get emails, get input from the folks out there. I want to hear from everybody and find out, what is it that you're seeing? What are you experiencing? What have you seen in yourself and or your employees, your coworkers, your teammates? So let's set up a future podcast, video sharing meeting where we can all talk about it and we can share our experiences and we can really learn from each other. So I hope video one is the start of a lot more to come, and I hope we start seeing a weekly and maybe even more. So thank you again and see you soon.
So I want to welcome you again. This is Fresh Brewed Leaders. And whether you work at a fire station, you work in EMS, riding an ambulance, moving all over the place, county service, a city service. If you're law enforcement working out of a central station in the city, a substation out in the county, highway patrol out cruising the highways of the state, you often look to your leaders for stability. You look to your leaders for guidance. But quite often you're the one as the leader out in the field. You're the one that's setting the example, that's providing the role model for those younger troops, for those people that are training underneath you. And leaders come in all shapes, sizes, uniforms, whether it's a gold badge, a silver badge, accoutrements on your collar, on your lapel, it doesn't matter. Your epaulets can be full of trumpets, bugles, stars, bars, it doesn't matter. Leadership comes in all forms and in all walks in our business. So when we wake up every day and we grab that first cup of coffee, the first thing I want you to think about is, what opportunity will I have today to show good leadership? What opportunity will I have to impart good leadership? Where will I get the chance to make a leadership decision? We do it every day. We do it every day. Whether you're on, like I said, a fire truck, you're on a rescue truck, you're riding an ambulance, you're in a supervisor's vehicle, you're on a patrol car, you're in a tandem, you're riding together with a partner on patrol. You are faced every day with leadership decisions, and you have to make those decisions, sometimes life or death. Victims, citizens, callers for service, or your own or your partners. So leadership decisions come, again, in all walks and forms every single day. And we have to take advantage of those situations to grow, to learn from our decisions. We want to make sure that each decision we make is best, but we want to make sure the next decision we make was better than the last one. We want to make sure we're learning from every chance we have to make a decision, every chance we have to express leadership, to act as a role model, to provide a mentorship, or to coach a coworker or a peer. We want to make sure that we're taking the opportunity to learn from those lessons, learn from those around us, and learn every day that we show up at work. It has to happen that way. There has to be a constant learning feedback loop, that when we take the opportunity to make decisions, to perform leadership decisions and perform in a leadership role, we have to make sure that the feedback loop, that we're open, that we're actively listening for the feedback so we can improve our opportunities each and every time. Again, it starts that morning when you get up, before you put your uniform on, when you hit the button on the coffee pot, or you grab that K-cup out, or you pour that first cup from the pot. You get the opportunity to decide, how am I going to lead today? It's just like right now, I'm driving across district from one station over to another part of our district into kind of the busy business sector. And as I'm looking around, I'm driving past the bus barn, past schools, past opportunities to learn, opportunities to work. Well, one thing I noticed is, hey, I'm past 4 different kinds of responders, a fire truck, an ambulance, and 2 law enforcement officers of 2 different services, 2 different branches. So every interaction I have with them, every interaction I have with the public is an opportunity to exemplify the leadership that we look for each day. So, was I thinking about that when I had coffee this morning? Yeah, actually I was. I was thinking about, hey, I've got classes I'm coordinating and teaching. I need to make sure that those people are getting the best out of me they can. I need to make sure that their roster's up to date. I need to make sure I'm checking on their grades. I need to make sure that my instructors have gotten answers to their questions, and I'm giving them the best role model I can, because one day those instructors are likely going to be coordinators or leaders, if they're not already leaders, within their own company or their own district. So take advantage of those opportunities and make the most out of them.